Before you get into the real estate market, get clarity, perspective, and the information you need.
I've been listening to you, and I love your show.
Right here with broker owner Dan Gemus, host of the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.
Okay, welcome back to the show. It is 12:36 here on AM800. The afternoon is just zooming by. We have another half hour with you here, and in studio, Kassy, Heather Marintet, sales reps with the Dan Gemus team. We've got lots going on, and we want some audience participation. Have you ever had a home insurance claim? Obviously, lots going on in the past week, and sure are a lot of claims, I guarantee, all over the place, right? And I hope that there aren't too many people that are getting surprised by a lack of coverage of some sort. Actually, we have Chris Gibb on with us tomorrow, so we'll have a good chat about that as well. But we want to know from you, if you've had a home insurance claim in the past, what was it for? Was it a huge one, a small one? How was your experience with the insurance company? You know Nick and I have had a claim in the past. This is going back about 10 or so years ago in our last home. We had some water come up. The sump pump. Okay, I'll tell you the story, the true story. we had the house built. Funny story, actually. So we had the house built. We moved in. And we found out after the fact, because the water came up through the sump pump, that the builder's electrician forgot to connect the plug where the sump pump was connected. So in the under the stairs. So sure enough, the basement floods, and turns out it was because the plug was not active for the sump pump.
There was no pumping happening.
No pumping happening.
Awesome.
So it wasn't it was just enough the whole carpet and the whole basement was soaked. It was all finished.
Yeah, that's more than enough.
So it was a pain in the butt. But like some people last week had 4 feet of water in the basement. So it wasn't that bad.
Right.
But it was enough to have to remove everything from the basement, and put some new flooring in there, et cetera, et cetera. It was a pain. But, so having dealt, with that scenario ourselves, it was not fun. It's a pain having to move stuff. And when that happened for us, it was just like similar to this week where 1 million people had the same issue, and the insurance companies were taking forever to get back to people with the restoration companies, et cetera. So we ended up doing the cleanup ourselves. But, it was not really enjoyable. But the experience with the insurance company itself was decent. Once the adjuster came out, they were very fair with us and, took care of that end of things. Yeah. But have you guys had any experiences over the years?
I have not. We almost did. Well, we had a situation where a neighbor's tree fell into our backyard directly onto our shed and fence. And it caused quite a bit of damage, but in the end we decided not to go through the insurance company. So I know sometimes there's times where it makes sense and other times when it doesn't. So we have not had to, knock on wood, yet.
My parents, not me, but I'm going to throw my parents out here. So they live, sorry, Ma, I know she's listening. They have a beautiful property out by Amherst Point, and they've got some big, massive trees out there. And this is still going back a couple of storms ago. And my mom actually, she was going to have surgery, and they were leaving that night, and that night, they were leaving in the morning at 2 a.m. And that night they had this big, massive storm, and the biggest tree, of all Tarzan, fell down. It ended up breaking a couple of windows and sitting on the sun porch. And anyway, so it was just stressful. So they ended up going, they had to be away for a couple of days. So I rallied up the finest people in my life, and they were wonderful. And I was half real estate, half lumberjack, and we ended up cutting it all up, and it took us all weekend to do. And then it was a couple weeks later, we had another big storm and another big tree fell down. And I was like, oh my gosh, you guys. But it was the whole neighborhood was such a mess, and everybody just kind of came out to help one another. And
boy,
but
it's not fun, is it?
It's not fun.
Some texts are rolling in here. Siding and windows after the hailstorm a few weeks ago.
Oh, that hailstorm.
Yeah.
What was that, about a month or so ago? I saw people having hail pieces the size of their whole hand. I know in Cottam and other areas.
And the dents on their cars.
Yes.
Holes in the siding of their houses.
Nick's mom had to change the windshield on her car.
Oh my goodness.
Yep. Overall, a good experience, although a lengthy process, still waiting for repairs to be done. Yeah. Ugh. That's going to be a while now. Someone else texted, yesterday, in a terrible experience, our whole street is flooded. We had water pouring in for 20 hours straight.
Oh my gosh.
Sewage backup is limited and is only covering a small fraction of our damages. Our living quarters are in the basement, as we have 3 kids upstairs. So lots of personal loss. Yeah, our home
it's so
currently
hard.
smells very bad and still haven't had someone come out to assess the damage so we can start the cleanup. Our car was also submerged in the water and a complete loss.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. That's, again, something you don't think about too. Cars.
It's devastating.
You know, geez. Someone else has texted, yes, spring of 2022, water damage from snow melt and rain in the basement. First claim in 32 years with the same company. Claim process was great to put back to original. We also spent about $5,000 to remediate the home, new windows, better grading, etc. When renewal came, no call from agent, but limit placed for water damage and premium went up 34%. Ouch. Ooh. Claim was good. Renewal process was terrible. They say. Oh man.
Wow.
Boy, oh boy. But yeah, text us at 10-800 with your experiences if you had something, have how much damage at your place. Yeah, not good. Someone else says, the ice machine tubing at the back of the fridge, which you cannot see to inspect, cracked and water damage to our hardwood flooring and basement ceiling. Who knew this could ever happen? Apparently the fridges that have water dispensers and ice machines, that is not uncommon. You know what?
My mom had this happen.
Yes, you too.
And just got brand new flooring from Doobies and had that happen.
Oh,
and
no.
Oh my gosh, my mom was so sick because she finally waited all these years for her floor to come in and she's obsessed with her floor. And then this exact same thing. We feel you. It's heartbreaking.
Okay, first of all, it reminds me of another issue at our last home going back 10 or so years ago. So we move in, the house was built for us. We move in, and about 6 months later or so, I've told this story in the air a while back, but 6 months or so, we had a raised ranch with a bonus room over the garage. Okay, so our master was in the bonus room.
Okay.
And the laundry room was on the main floor next to the kitchen.
Okay.
So imagine, I'm upstairs, kind of getting dressed, and I see a little pile, which it looked like, knowing me, looked like a piece, like a little pile of makeup dust or something, I don't know, what do you use to, like eyeliner or something? No, what's the makeup with powder? The powder.
Powder,
the
like
powder,
eyeshadow,
like
face
I don't know,
powder.
something that has like a face powder of some sort,
I think
right?
it's appropriate to say powder.
Thank you. My makeup experience is limited, and so I said to Nick, I said, "Honey, like, you're making a mess here." She's like, "What are you talking about?" I said, like
clean up your powder.
It was like on the foot of the bed, right? Like on the floor. She's like, well, hon, I do makeup in the bathroom, not at the foot of the bed. Okay, whatever.
Always
so
trying to blame Nicole.
I know, poor Nikki. So, a couple days later, we're in the kitchen and I look over at next to the laundry room and the same kind of little powder things, on the hardwood next to the laundry room. So I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, hon, like, was this laundry detergent? She's like, we use liquid. I'm like, right.
Have you been doing your makeup in the laundry room again?
Again, poor Nikki.
Oh my God, poor Nick. And so, turns out, long story short, I get down on my knees and look down close. There's holes in the wood. It was the powder post beetle. So we call out the pest control. And this was brand new hardwood, brand new.
It was in like the hardwood in
It was
different
in the
areas
hardwood
of the house?
in different areas of the house. So what happens, what we found out from the flooring company, it was all warranted. They replaced all the hardwood throughout the whole house. I'll tell you about that in a second. But essentially, they started popping up all over the hardwood. We had the whole main floor, whole upstairs, all hardwood. Our stairs going up to the stairs are hardwood. And so they figure that it's common. The wood manufacturing company has a protocol for it. When the wood goes through the kiln, it's supposed to kill all the whatever eggs in the wood. And for whatever reason, it didn't kill them all. And we had a bad batch.
Wow.
Yeah. And so
and it was just the hardwood floor.
Just the hardwood floor. Yeah. It didn't go into the wood of the
wood of the
nothing
structure.
else. Yep. And so the flooring store, had to, through the flooring company, their policy covered the replacement of everything. They had to take our whole kitchen out.
Wow. Oh
Brand
my
new
gosh.
kitchen. They took the whole kitchen out. It was a 2-week project and replaced everything. Now, when they did that, going back to this whole fridge issue here that this person had texted in, the same thing. So the flooring company's person put the fridge back and didn't tighten the hose. So one night I'm going to bring the garbage out to the back shed, and the kitchen's at the back corner of the house. I see water leaking out the back of the siding of the house. So I'm like, what the hell's that? Like, it hasn't rained in forever. I'm like, what's going on? Sure enough, turns out that the water was leaking and pooling and going down into my basement office, wall. So then the same company had to then, it wasn't our insurance, it was theirs, had to then redo all the drywall in the basement.
When are we done with these people? The worst luck.
My
Just
gosh.
bad luck, right? But
Man.
oh my goodness. So, okay, someone else has texted yesterday. I called the insurance company to report damage to my fence from the storm. The first thing they told me was be aware that if you submit a claim, your premium will go up. The second thing they told me was depending on the age of the fence, it may be depreciated to a value of 0. Third, since your deductible is $1,000, you're probably not entitled to anything. Geesh. Ugh, that stinks. Yeah, not fun.
Yeah.
Someone else texted, we flooded back to back when those 2 big rainstorms went through. First time they came in and tore everything out quickly, then left us hanging for almost 6 months for the quote to restore, which held us up from moving ahead as we wanted to hire our own restoration company and needed that number. First flood was a free-for-all. Money. Told us to claim everything. Second time was horrible, and now we are 1 claim away from not being able to have insurance anymore.
Oh my goodness.
Yuck. Man, oh man. Yep. Not enjoyable. So thank you for the text, everyone. Hang in there. My goodness. Okay. We're going to come back. And if you want to keep texting, by all means, we'll keep covering it during the show here. We're going to come back and talk about the, color psychology. We're going to give away the Richmond Popcorn Company gift card as well for $50. If you want a chance to win, text us 10800 with the keyword butter. BUTTER, butter, with your first and last name, and you'll be entered to win the contest as well. Lots more to come with Heather Maritet, Kassy, and I'm Dan Gemus right here on AM800.